Are we here, Melissa?
Yes, you're ready to go.
Let's start. Perfect. Thank you very much, and thanks everybody for participating. I'm kind of shocked of the amount of people is coming to participate, and it's because these new tools and communicational tools are kind of not just interesting, but it's what's coming. So well, thanks very much. And I'm a little bit nervous and anxious because I mean I wasn't expecting so many interest in the presentation. So first of all, I would like to present you Francesca, which is my assistant in this presentation.
Welcome to Artificial Intelligence Unleashed presentation, and let me introduce to you our speaker, Alejandro Cabero from Kansas Migrant Education Program. We will be discussing the changes in communication styles, how this affects our daily work, and the new tools available to maximize outreach. Then, we will be focusing on interesting resources for recruiters, including free interpreters, applications, mass texting applications, and the use of chatbots with and without artificial intelligence. To end with an open discussion about the future in communication in the identification and recruitment of migratory children for the Title I Part C Migrant Education Program. Looking ahead, we're excited by the endless possibilities and the impact we can achieve together in the lives of so many migratory children. Join us as we continue to innovate, inspire, and set new benchmarks in our journey ahead.
So welcome and thank you for signing up for my presentation. If you did not notice that Francesca is not human. It's an artificial intelligence avatar created by Synthesia, which is free, and this is a limited version. I mean, you can have even better versions if you pay those fees. But she is one of some avatars I will be using to create training materials for Kansas IDR, which is going to simplify my job and make better products of trainings in the Kansas. As you can see, this communication tools itself demonstrates the importance of discussions like the one we will have today in this presentation.
Welcome.
So before starting the presentation, in this today's fast-paced world, effective communication between recruiters and migratory family members is crucial to ensure the identification and recruitment and to deliver a consistent and quality educational services. In evaluating the importance of communication, we evaluate various traditional and modern channels and discuss tips on implementing effective communication plans. We will be driving into maintaining open lines of communication and trust, overcoming barriers, and continuous improvement to meet evolving needs of not just the migratory children, but also their families, the schools, like the businesses and community agencies, and why not the stakeholders to ensure the fastest identification, recruitment, and to ensure that migrant children and youths receive the best educational services possible. So this helps us to establish trust, promote understanding, and alleviate the stress for everyone that is involved in this communication, most important, the recruiter stress. So when we talk about outreach, we are thinking of the outreach as the act of connecting difficult to reach populations with social and or educational services. Migratory agricultural workers often remain hidden from mainstream society, leading to their characterization as the invisible population because of several factors. Probably the most important are the geographical isolation that includes remote work locations, limited access to services, transport and mobility issues, lack of integration into local communities. The mobile nature makes them hard to connect and establish routes of communication without the traditional elements and channels. Another problem is the language and cultural barriers that are affecting this population. Migratory workers and families most of the time doesn't feel comfortable interacting with the local community. And the other situation is the lack of awareness. Migratory workers and their families are most of the times uninformed or unaware of specific facts, issues, or situations, which can result in misunderstanding or lack of action regarding important educational matters. The outreach should be based on a holistic, community-centered approach to connecting to migrant children and youths to the program and facilitating them the access to our educational services. But this means that we need to work on a clear and open communication between IDR staff, agencies, schools, and families. And this is essential to establish strong relationships. The communication not just need to be effective, but also must be consistent. When we talk about effective communication, we're talking about communication that helps migratory family members feel comfortable discussing qualifiers and releasing what we call borderline to privacy information, such as the famous time frame statement needed to generate the migratory agricultural worker status on the temporary agricultural or fishing work. But also it must be consistent. The communication must be consistent. It means build trust in the agricultural and fishing families who trust the recruiter and are more likely to enroll in the program, but also to refer other families to the program. So furthermore, effective and consistent communications reduce anxiety and stress for both families and recruiters. So recruiters receive accurate information about qualifications, and also families receive better services tailored to the specific need they share with the program representatives. While organizing a communication strategy, we must identify primary and secondary criteria based on the communication goals we would like to achieve. When we talk about primary criteria, we're talking about the need of the communication. It means the relevance and urgency of the communication on a specific target population. On the relevance, we need to make sure that we understand the specific needs of the migratory children and youths and their families. So the question is, what are the primary challenges faced by migrant children in this specific geographical area? How can migrant education program efforts address these challenges directly or through partnerships or referrals? But also we talk about the urgency. Is this a good time to contact and communicate the benefits of Title I Part C? Do I have a schedule or a draft of schedules on the near agribusinesses to know when there is more easy or more chances to find a family at home? Do I have all the communicational tools and resources ready before knocking the door or connecting virtually with the family? So when we talk about replicability, that involves the ability to apply the communication strategy in different settings with similar success. It should be simple enough to be understood, based on a clear and structured approach to make sure we don't miss basic components of the communication. Then we know when we need to discuss the scalability. So if the practice can be expanded to reach a larger audience without losing the effectiveness. Can the practice be adapted to the regions? Can resources, what kind of resources we need to scale up the practice? The cost efficiency is another tool. We need to achieve specific outcomes, but without excessive expenditures. So what is the cost of the communication channel? Is any other way to get the same or similar outcome or results at a lower cost? And then the appropriateness, which is pretty much ensure that the communication channel is culturally and contextually suitable for the migrant education community. So respecting the cultural norms and values, ensure that the language and methods used are accessible and relatable. And then when we talk about feasibility, we talk about assesses whether the channel can be realistically implemented given the available resources, time, and constraints. So the question is, do we have the necessary skills, personal infrastructure to implement this practice? Are the potential technical or legal barrier, and how can we overcome them? So we must ensure that our communication strategy is not only idealistic, but also practical and executable. So you can have a very nice artificial intelligence chatbot, but if legally is some constraints, some if the legal department of the Department of Education don't allow you to proceed, so we need to start looking for another tools and little by little overcome these situations. But also we have another set of criteria, which is pretty much secondary. Secondary is not, doesn't mean that it's not as important as primary. It means that these secondary criteria can be modified. It can be, I mean, they're not mandatory, but you can just maneuver in the way to obtain to achieve those criteria while you are piloting the system. We're talking about the impact. So how this channel make a positive difference, what changes can be observed in the engagement and participation of the people, the sustainability, which is the ability to maintain the communication channel over the time. Can this channel continue to operate effectively with the resources available? How can we ensure long-term support and eventually funding for this specific communication channel? The reliability related to the check if the communication channel consistently produce desired outcomes. So the questions are, how dependable is the practice in different contexts over the time? Are the results consistent across various implementations? So those reliable practices build trust and ensure that we can depend on the channel to meet our communicational goals consistently. So all these questions, like to make it measurable, is the ability to evaluate the effectiveness through clear metrics. What specific indicators will we use to measure success? How will we be collecting and analyzing data to assess these indicators? The innovation, for instance, the innovation means that we are using new and creative approaches in communication, but also if those communications are accepted in the community to work. I mean, it's going to be quite a fancy communication channel, but the families don't use it anymore. So we are spending and wasting our time. So all those basic criteria, before creating a communication plan, you need to discuss, and maybe if you can have a group of people in the migrant program in your state, you can just set up which is the communication strategy and what kind of tools you're going to use, and then just decide what kind of technology you're going to use for the program, for the channels. Those new changes in communication or paradox put ourselves in the situation to upgrade the way we communicate with the community in order to achieve success in our IDR job. So we have the traditional communicational channels that have been used for decades and continue to hold value in our professional and personal settings, but which effectiveness is going down to several factors. So phone calls, for instance, have been for a long time a preferred method for immediate and verbal communication. The phone calls, the advantage of the phone calls include the real-time conversations, allowing us to for clarification or ideas with the immediacy of responses, the fostering personal connections with individuals. However, the potential limitations include the lack of visual cues. You know, the 55% of the communication is nonverbal, it's body language, and almost 38% of the communication is based on the tone and the tone of voice. So another limitation is the difficulty of maintaining records of verbal agreements. Okay, yeah, just we meet tomorrow at 7 p.m. Perfect, I'll be there at 7 p.m. You go to 7 p.m. and nobody's home, and the family said, no, I never said that. So this lack of proofs on verbal agreements is another situation. Just if you use just the verbal agreement by the phone without texting, I'm on my way, I'll be there in 45 minutes, you may lose the appointment. So basically, in a nutshell, on those traditional communication channels, in the post-COVID outreach, our experience here in Kansas, and maybe you guys agreed with the same, what we have is first, most of the times, families are not longer answering phone calls that are not expecting, or for numbers they don't recognize. So sometimes we don't even waste our time trying to make phone calls. Just texting is more effective. And second one, families almost, I'd say rarely check the voice messages on their smartphones or call back the recruiter's voice messages. So this is one of the problems on phone calls. The emails are good because they give some records of communication. We can just include attachments, links. We can format the email to provide context to the message. But the situation we have with specifically with our families is sometimes the families receive a lot of spam, and in this inbox, they lost important emails, and they can find the emails we share with them. If they don't know they're going to send an email, they may lost the email on so many spam they are receiving. The other one is the situation is most of our families do not check the inbox. And then the other traditional communication channel is the letter. The letter is in specific circumstances, like a legal or formats communications, is not just important, but also mandatory. So when we talk about communication that the student has been accepted to the program, that the student joined the free lunch program, that the letter of notifying the expiration of the services, those are communications. There's no excuse. You need to send the letters. However, on connecting with these communication channels, we have what we call the modern communication channels. So technology has developed numerous and modern communication channels that supplement and sometimes replace those traditional channels, like the messaging apps, like instant messaging apps offer swift and informal communication, often replacing emails for quick exchanges and updates. They support text, support audio, video messaging, and can be accessed across multiple devices. Many apps provide read-receive to confirm message reception or viewing. And those las palomitas, we talk about the WhatsApp is one of the proofs. However, messaging apps can be distracting and time-consuming, potentially reducing productivity. Privacy and data security concerns may arise, especially when we cannot share personal identifier information, PII, and other sensitive information. When we talk about video conferences, we're talking about Zoom, Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, even FaceTime, that enable real-time communication with multiple parties, providing the advantage of phone calls with the add of visual cues and interactions. However, video conferences is reliant on a stable internet connection, which may not always be available in rural areas. Disruptions due to technical issues are also common, and adequate planning is required to ensure participants across different time zones. Then we have the social media. The social media provides a public forum for sharing information, ideas, opinions. Business and community agencies can utilize social media for marketing, networking, for customer services, while individuals use it for personal connections and information sharing. In our community, I think 75% or even 80% of the farm worker families, they choose Facebook as a main social media, even though the majority of the people is more connected to Instagram or Snapchat. But Facebook has become for long the main social media communication for farm worker families. The limitations of social media includes always the concerns of privacy, the information accuracy with the fake news, and the potential for negative online interactions or reputational damage. Time management can also be a concern as a social media usage is often seen as a distraction and time waster. So in a nutshell, using the communication channels available must always prioritize and secure the confidentiality of the communication for IDNR. Confidentiality and security are the main streams, important things for the migrant education program communication, governed by regulations like FERPA, and prioritizing students' privacy and data security. These basically tell us to the next principle. The basic principle is the communication strategy must be planned. We need to plan the communication strategy in terms of IDNR. A communication plan is essential for organizing and streamlining communication efforts among all parties involved in the IDNR. It's not just that we really want to have a chatbot and just set up. It should be into a communication plan and a strategy connected and trained with different actors. So when the following step outlines our process of creating a comprehensive communication plan, we need to set up goals. We need to clearly define goals and objectives to improve our quality of communication. And always the communication ultimate goal for us is recruiting migratory children, but also includes identify key stakeholders, involve all relevant parties such as farm workers, family members, community agencies, school districts, and even school support personnel to ensure that communication preferences are considered. Select the adequate communication channels. So choose suitable communication channels based on the goals, objectives, and stakeholder preferences. Options range from traditional methods like face-to-face meetings, phone calls, correspondence, to modern technologies like email, text messaging, and sometimes WhatsApp groups. When we talk about the convenience and accessibility, we should consider or establish guidelines for communication to ensure effective and secure communication in the identification and recruitment. So basically, let's talk with our team about the frequency of communication. We need to determine the appropriate frequency of communication based on specifics of the season, the school, recruiter, agency needs. But the important is regular check-ins and updates with schools and stakeholders and families promote coordination and prevent misunderstandings. We must maintain and demonstrate that confidentiality is key for us. It's not just it's there. We need to explain and be proactive for the families and stakeholders to know that is something that is non-negotiable in our communication, which is the confidentiality of our records. So if we empathize the importance of confidentiality to protect migrant children's privacy, and this is going to build trust in the communication. So all parties must understand the responsibilities in safeguarding sensitive information. As if you receive an email with a list of students without being encrypted, it's good for you to go, even in the friendly way, to say, you know, next time don't do it because it's compromising our information. Next time I don't have any other option that reports you on this situation. It's a situation that you must address at the beginning of the communication to set up some kind of guidelines and factors. Communication channels, you need to specify the preferred communication channels for different types of information, situation, and counterparts. This might include face-to-face meeting for some people. Some principals, they just want to meet with you in face-to-face. They say, I'm not have time to read and respond emails. Just come back once every other week and we will talk. But some others say, just send me a text and I'll be there waiting for the family. So you need to set up these communication channels with the other counterparts and clarify which is the best way to communicate. My situation with my family in Argentina is that everybody uses WhatsApp over there. I'm not using it. I don't need it. So sometimes I'm missing this information. Or sometimes we still have a group of H2A workers that come in, and the crew leader is texting me by WhatsApp at what time they come and how many people is coming. So you need to choose the communication channels, but make sure that you respond to those communication. Be ready to respond. And this is connected with the response time. So you need to establish expectations for response times to ensure timely communication. This includes acknowledging messages, addressing concerns, providing updates with a reasonable time frame. And sometimes you need to set up what kind of language and tone you're going to use. I mean, you need to use some specific compassionate tone when you're talking with specific at-risk populations. You need to set up, you prefer to speak in Spanish or English, it's up to you. Just let me know, I will adapt. So it's a lot of stuff to discuss in order to create a strategy in communication. And like I said, if we have this strategy, that's going to be easy to build trust and build empathy to communicate and work with those families, schools, and stakeholders. Another thing that I'm thinking right now, but it's not in my presentation, is encourage active listening to and empathy to the recruiters, and make sure to open dialogue to promote understanding on specific resolutions. That happens this week. The one family is upset because the district didn't provide services this month. So by talking to them, we just found out that it was a sick situation, a really compromised situation of illness in the district. So this lady could not take a long-term disability, so it was not possible for her to provide services. So the upset situation becomes on an empathy situation, and the family would like to provide some food for this for this teacher that helped them during the whole year. So having this kind of dialogue promote understanding and promote trust, and at the end promote more referrals. So when we're talking about these channels, always we need to take the confidentiality, obviously, but also just how you're going to assess the effectiveness and how you're going to implement those channels. It's kind of flashy to have an artificial intelligence chatbot, but if nobody's going to use it, you cannot spend the time and the dollars just because you just want to be ahead on the technology. It's just we need to focus on something the families, schools, and stakeholders need to increment the outreach and the communication channels. So the main question here is how technology can be utilized to facilitate recruiters' communication. So this introduction is just about to think that technology is a component, is not the important thing over here. It's just a tool to improve communication. It may or may not be included in the communication strategy. So we all agree that technology can support communication through various tools like instant messaging apps, video calls, can share cloud-based documents. These digital platforms enable real-time exchange of information, updates, and instant communication, regardless of geographical distance, which is sometimes is a bless to us when you need to communicate with the family, and you can use FaceTime and set up an appointment, so you don't need to drive 45 minutes and knock the door and nobody's at home. So the technology is useful if you know how to work with the technology and how to use it based on the main goal of IDR, on recruitment. So common communication challenges include cultural differences, the language, um, different expectations, and time constraints. So to address all these challenges, recruiters should be trained in cultural competency, establish clear roles and expectations, and utilize remote communication tools to accommodate various schedules. So we have communication tools and strategies that work most of the times. We choose the communication channels, but most of the time we adapt the communication channels chosen by the family, the agency, the agribusinesses, or the school. We do not impose our communication channels. We negotiate. We try to empathize, and they say, just text me. It's gonna be okay if you text me. And I said, no, I'm going to call you. So I'm not going to answer back. I mean, I'm telling you, just text me. I'm busy. I don't want to, I'm afraid of my English. I don't know. So if the counterpart would like to use specific channels, make sure those channels are compliant with our requirements of confidentiality, and maybe we can negotiate the best way of communication. Then we have new tools that is always coming, and maybe the audience will have another additional tools. I don't know at this moment, because the technology is growing so fast that what's happened today maybe it's old, because tomorrow they're gonna come something different. But so far right now, and based on the information we collect from our families in the state of Kansas, WhatsApp is by far the most preferred communication channel in immigrants and refugees, and even the first generation of migratory families, because it's free, because allow the users to communicate via Wi-Fi with extended families in another country. Even for several migratory families, WhatsApp is not just a communicational app. It's a vital communication bridge, the most popular messaging application in the world, with over 2 billion users across 180 countries. 64% of Latin American population use WhatsApp. So I think the community already choose the communication channel on how we want to be working with the families. FaceTime is another similar way to communicate, but it requires iPhone, and some people they're coming from other countries. It's kind of expensive, and they are prefer to use the Android system. So it works as well. But WhatsApp so far is for far the best communication tool in terms of communication. Zoom is good as well. I mean, we allow us to support large audiences, stream meetings on social media if we wanted. The situation is the privacy. We cannot have control on the comments, for instance. So it's not a way for us to filter the comments during the communication. And the biggest risk is the Zoom bombing. So people who's coming to the meeting and do some stuff that is not, they could be some really complicated. And also they need to download the application. Sometimes the family don't know how to do it, or don't want to do it. They don't want to download the Zoom application on their devices. Another good tool that is coming popular is, maybe you guys already use it, is Talking Points. The Talking Points, and I used it last week or 2 weeks ago in Syracuse, and it works really good. It's a mass texting multilingual technology platform that connect and empower families and recruiters by using human and artificial intelligence powered two-way translated communication and personalized content that eliminate the barriers of language. So you are sending you generate a classroom, like a 20, 25 phone numbers with the names, and it's going to be hide for the recipients, and you choose the language you wanna send the text, and the language they would receive the text. For instance, you choose to send a text on English, and some families in this group will speak Burmese, some others speak Spanish, some other people speak Kinyarwanda, some other people speak Nepali. And when you send the text, they will receive the text in their language. And when they answer back to you, they're gonna answer in their language, and you will receive it in English. So that way, the communication channel works both ways, and we can set up massive communication with a lot of people at the same time. Another tool we are using is Targimly. Targimly is a free mobile application that connects multilingual volunteers who want to donate their time and skills to support with interpretation by phone refugees, asylum seekers, and humanitarians. So for instance, you download the app, you choose the language, and you connect with the interpreter. If the language is available 24/7. You just call the family and organize the three-way call, and you're gonna have the real-time interpreter by phone. If the language is not available, you just submit a request, and when they find the specific, for instance, Marshallese, we don't have a Marshallese interpreter, so they find 2 days later, they find a Marshallese interpreter that would like to donate the time. So we set up an appointment, and by phone we interview the family with the Marshallese interpreter. This service is free on the basic level. There's a range of fees, not really expensive, and also allow you to use your own interpreters, and they will track times and everything. So they're gonna do all the paperwork on tracking times and fees and everything, and also they can even use our recruiters and pay them if they need those specific languages. And the other one is the one I'm going to be talking a little bit more longer at this moment, is the chatbot. The chatbot is simple. It's a computer program that simulates human conversations, allowing humans to interact with digital devices as if they were communicating with a real person. So the chatbots can be as simple as basic programs that answer simple questions, or as sophisticated as a digital artificial assistants that learn and evolve to deliver increasingly levels of personalizations. So all of these tools have the same challenges that we discussed: cultural differences, language, time constraints, confidentiality. So while using these channels, we must be aware about these challenges. So basically, what I'm trying to say is it's not new that digitalization is transforming our society into a mobile-first population. As messaging applications grow in popularity, chatbots are increasingly playing an important role in this mobile-driven transformation. These chatbots are often interfaces for mobile applications and are changing the way companies and customers interact. In the MEP chatbot will allow us, for instance, to connect with community agencies and school districts in a kind of personal way, in a fast, more consistent and friendly way. For example, our chatbot in Kansas can easily pre-screen a migratory scenario and generate an appointment for the recruiter to complete the interview based on the answers, like if we are talking about a virtual occupational survey. In the past 5 years, the chatbots have become popular as a time and money saver to interact with the community. So how chatbot have been evolved, if maybe we all suffer this phone tree, the press 1, press 2, press 3. This is pretty much the same system that chatbots, but chatbot has some personal connection, that it looks like you are chatting with somebody. It's not a robot answer, just driving you based on the number you push. The chatbots provide much more convenient and effective interactions between recruiters, community, and families, and its cost is close to free on the cost. That's what's happening. The chatbot we have is a basic. It's not artificial intelligence at this moment. is a basic chatbot based on the answer of the interviewee is sending you to specific decisions and always allow you to connect with the real person. But at some point, this is gonna become, I don't know when, this year, next year, in 5 years, we know how the communications are evolving. We will end on those artificial intelligence chatbots connecting and help us in the pre-screening of mandatory families. So, and we don't know exactly when this is going to happen. We know it's going to happen because there's no way for the artificial intelligence to don't go over all the aspect of the lives in this planet. But for instance, last week, there is one of the supercomputers, they call it Cloud 3 Opus. And last night I was just reading. 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, at the end of February, they was evaluating this the Opus supercomputer, and they sent thousands of documents about programming languages, startups, about artificial intelligence, and in between all those thousands and thousands, millions of informations, they sent one sentence about the most popular pizza toppings determined by the International Pizza Association. So the idea was to test this computer, if this computer can find this hidden information and how long it takes for the Opus to, on billions of data, to find this specific information. The computer, in less than 5 seconds, get the answer, but also added, and I'm gonna read textually. They answer the question, and also they say, I suspect the pizza topping fact may have been inserted by mistake, as a joke, or to test if I was paying attention. So basically, the super artificial intelligence at this moment on May 2024 can recognize if the humans are testing them, and they can just determine if this one is important information or not, and why we want that information. So that's what I'm saying. We don't know exactly how this is going to end and what is the future of that, but we know for sure that artificial intelligence is coming to stay. And we need to be ready, little by little, to see how we're going to use the artificial intelligence to support our recruiters. They will not replace the recruiters, because there's no way for us to interact in the human connection with the families and the students. But at this moment, having artificial intelligence or having those discussions about how artificial intelligence will be helping us in our job will help us in create long-term strategies and reduce our office time and focus more on the field, on recruiting, on the human connections. So all the data, it can be organized and evaluated by the computer. The communications with the families can be by the computers, but if we receive the information, we know exactly how to approach. So how is the model we have in Kansas? We use the basic collect.chat, which is one of the applications into the Google environment. Collect Chat is an online tool that allows users to create chatbots for their website or businesses without any coding knowledge. I don't have no idea of coding. So this helps people to organize like a Google form with Jump technology. Just they generate this little chatbot. So the platform provides a user-friendly interface, the way to design a conversational flows and integrate the chatbot with various services and tools. So we do this basic collect chat just to see if it works. And obviously, because of the confidentiality and privacy requirements. We don't ask PII information. We don't have, this is a basic pre-screening to check if the students may or may not qualify for the program. And if it qualifies, we can just interact with them in a different way. Let's show how it works. We call the chatbot Luna because Maria Luna is our assistant, the secretary. She's the one who is answering the phone call. Maria Luna is pretty much the one when the families are coming to Kansas and the one to contact the migrant education program, they call our number and Luna, is answering the phone. That's why we call Luna our virtual assistant. So
Alex?
let's go for,
Alejandro, just so
Yes.
you know, you have 15 more minutes, just so you know.
Okay, let's go with this Luna, how it works. Basically, on the chatbot, you just go and choose English or Spanish, and you can use different languages if you add the language and start interacting with the robots. So what is your name? I'll say Alejandro. And it goes straight to this. I mean, since it's a personal information, if they want to share, it's okay. If not, at this moment, we don't need it. I'm a parent. And where's your email? I don't want to share at this moment. And where's the city? This is important to us because it's going to connect us with the specific recruiters in the region. So, and they start the pre-screening. Is the children under 21 without high school? Let's say yes. I'm going to show you. If it's not, it is going to give you the phone number to contact us if they want to have more information. So it's a member of the household move. So it's a qualified move on the worker. I'll say yes. It's the children move in the past 3 years. So we are going all the qualifiers from the ESSA little by little. So is somebody apply or work in qualified works? I would say the worst scenario, apply to work but did not obtain the job. So you're gonna move it to another. Okay, what kind of jobs has been? And we ask in the whole household all the activities, and you can choose as many as you need. And when you confirm with those elements, the chatbot, it said, you know what, you may qualify. These children may qualify for the program. You would like to book an appointment, so it opens my Google Calendar and offer the options. And I just clean my calendar on these ones. So let's see. So they can set up an appointment with me. Some hours are not in the system because I'm going to be presenting and I'm going to be participating on this training. So let's see. Oh, you can call me 4 p.m. when I'm coming back from work. So now I need some contact information because you want to talk to me. So which numbers you want to choose? You just add the number, and automatically the system is sending the information to us. Basically, what's happened next is the recruiter in the area receive an email with all the information on the chats, and also the system add a time for the chat to contact the family. So it's going to pop up in the Google Calendar and the Google on the Gmail of the recruiter, and they will be able to connect. So it works. It works really good. How we want to be working, I mean, just go to connectthatchat.com, and it's not really complicated. You just sign up. You just create the workspace and start working, adding the information. Everything is in the presentation. You can go step by step on the presentations if you download it, and then when it's ready, you integrate, you embed. We embed it in the IDRC web page in our website, which also includes different other information, and the integration is on Google Calendar and Google Sheets because our Google environment is encrypted by the Eudora system, so all the information over there is protected. So, and you have the responses and you have the email, then we've compromised the answer. We want to answer back in 48 hours communication or to set up the appointment with this family. Now, this is how it works. If you want to have the collect chatbots for you, just go on the presentation and you can have a step by step. If not, you can call me and we can help you. Now, what is coming, and I don't have much time to talk. That's why I'm talking too fast. This is the future, and this is just a prototype that since I have a close friend is Carlos Gardosa, who is the data in the state, we are kind of evaluating and piloting the artificial intelligence chatbot. This is the Luna, but on this artificial intelligence version. It's not in any place, it's just a pilot, it's internal, but you can just generate a robot and you can edit and pretty much encrypt the information so you want to be in control of everything. So for instance, this artificial intelligence assistant having all this information and it just answer questions related with these specific documents we educate Luna. So she's not answering outside of these specific documents. Now, the guidance, the national COE document, the QAD and MOVE joins and the presentations, the general eligibility, and the migrant directory from Kansas. Let's see, let's
Alejandro?
pilot a little. Yes.
Do you have a question? I don't know if you can see them or if you want me to read it.
Yes, please.
Joanne Gonzalez asked if those questions that you have already added to your chatbot are available for them to borrow.
Yes, and actually, I mean, if you can have the link and chat with them, or you can. I'm gonna send you. If you send me an email, I can send all the script, what you call the script, so you can tailor your own. Actually, you can add more information on that, or more languages, and I can show you. It's
I can put your email on the chat if you want me to.
Yes, please. And let's see with the Luna, for instance. Let's see, different languages. Actually, she can speak different languages. Let's see, let's try in Spanish. Soy Alejandro y recién llego a Topeka, Kansas. Topeka, Kansas. Quiero saber si mi hijo de 7 años califica para migrant program. So the answer is going to be tailored and limited to the basics because we don't track any PII. We don't want any PII. So basically, the basic concept about the qualifications on the migrant program and go straight to the interview for the program. So what it's making is connecting us again with the chatbot, which is encrypted. So that way, anybody can be participating. Or another one, who is the recruiter in Wichita, Kansas? So you have the director of the migrant program, Shannon Benoit, the phone number, and also we added an interactive map, which is a Google map divided with the boundaries of the school districts. And you can choose, for instance, I'm here and you say Wichita, okay. Wichita, Kansas. Wichita School District is right here, and recruiters Griselda Starley and Mirta and Lydia are the local recruiters. Or you can go over here and say, Liz Marie is the recruiter, this is the email, this is the phone number, and who provides services is Maite Fuentes. So everything is friendly, so anybody can access to this information. So Maria, the artificial intelligence at this moment, is ready to answer the questions. And also you can say, can I call you, Luna? So of course you can call me, as I'm here to help you for any question. So, ¿cuál es tu número? No, de teléfono, perdón. So it goes with the migrant education program number. So it looks like you are interacting with a human being, which is also called Luna, like our secretary. So eventually she's going to be working on that. This is one of the tools we are practicing. The other one I'm kind of excited is this one. This is another one. It's not related with the migrant. It's just a pilot. Luz intelligence artificial. Lucia is another one, which is my assistant on WhatsApp. I'm embedded in WhatsApp, so I can ask any information for Lucia. Or I'm passionate about sports, so I create Brew, another artificial intelligence that he knows everything about sports. So I can ask and interact with him and actually have a debate on the sports. It's amazing all the capabilities of the artificial intelligence and everything you can do. But always, the good things of using artificial intelligence is you can work on data analysis and predictive analysis. You can identify mandatory patterns. There's a lot of positive things to work if you have specific goals, not just to play a little bit with artificial intelligence, but to show off that you have the tool. Just make sure that in your communication strategy, you are using this information as a tool. But at the same time, you have a lot of situations that you need to be careful about. The bias and discrimination, because if the algorithm is not accurate, it will come to a different outcomes that you don't want to go there. So make sure that somebody who is professional elaborate those specific algorithms and prompt to make sure that it's compliant with the diversity and cultural awareness. The privacy and data accuracy, make sure that your server is protected and encrypted. The information you have in the chat is the chatbot, the robot is not going to take information from the outside, because you don't know. You can check if it's accurate or not. The information it create some misunderstandings. So basically, you had to work on training the robot on diversity. You need to be transparent on algorithm. You need to always have a set of human doing the oversight and checking and testing regularly. And the strict data protection. How you going to be encrypted this information? We don't want the big data companies take over our family's information. So how you going to encrypt that information? We are working on this moment on a partnership, Carlos and I, in a partnership with K-State University Artificial Intelligence Lab. And because we don't have the money to do ourselves, so we are pretty much implementing not this chatbot just for the migrant program, but basically for all the agencies working on outreach for social services and including farm worker health, including the Department of Health, including the Department of Education. So what we offer them is to help them in creating a chatbot that will be tailored for different agencies at no cost under the fiscalization and protection, encrypted protection of the server from K-State. And they love the idea. We're going to have a meeting next week with the president of the K-State and the Artificial Intelligence Lab in Manhattan. So I think is what is coming at this moment. But basically, what we have at this moment is a chatbot that easily embed in your website, easily embed in the Facebook page, in any social media. It allows us to receive information, do the ESSA pre-screening as if is a human being interacting, which is friendly for the community agencies, for the school districts, for the families. And you will receive the information in your email and also set up appointments in your Google Calendar. And we also are working on this specific artificial intelligence that we are not going to, we don't have the authorization yet to embed and to work, but it's just a pilot, and we just are playing because we know it's coming, and we are trying to get the best stakeholders to make this one as professional as possible to make sure that it works. At the end of this meeting, I just want for you to use the phone and let me know what you think, just one word, what you think about this invasion of the artificial intelligence and those technologies, communication tools, for us to have an idea if it's important if it makes sense for us to continue evaluating and discussing these new tools of communication and what is next.
So we are at 2:44 and we have 1 minute.
I know. Just give me 5 minutes. So at this moment we have efficient, amazing, empowering, innovation. Amazing is getting on the word cloud the biggest answers. Empowering, exciting. I mean, all positive. That's good. But I always think of the importance of the control of these tools. They are so powerful. At some point, there's no good or bad tools, and it's good or bad use of the tools. So artificial intelligence, if we don't use it in the real way, it could increase the problems instead of reduce the problems. So thanks for all the people contacting. Give us 2 more minutes. So can you see the answers? Are you seeing the answers?
Are they the ones on the screen? Yes, I can
perfect.
see. Yeah, I can see that.
Right.
You want me to stop recording to take in
yes,
questions?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So any questions so far?